I'm
Okay,
Zach. You?
nice to meet you. I'm Sam with Shutter 16. So I've written up some questions for you. I see that you guys have just released your album up and running like just a couple days ago. Congratulations on that, by the way. What was the recording process like with that? Um, and are there any songs that didn't make the cut?
Yeah. So the recording process on that, it's very surreal. It was our first time working like with a major producer. We worked with a guy named Michael Rosen, and he had done a lot of stuff, kind of in the '80s with bands like Journey and Santana, and
Awesome.
later on he had done some of the Papa Roach records. And so it was really cool to work with a guy like that. And I feel like me as an artist, I kind of learned a lot about arrangements and taking yourself out of something and just always serving the song. And we worked with a lot of other killer musicians on the record. We had a lot of special guests. We had Jim Bogus from the Counting Crows played on the record, and Michael Urbano from Smash Mouth was on the album, and Jeff Campitelli, who's a longtime drummer of Joe Satriani and G3, he was on the record. And I mean, we just had a lot of drummers on the album. Um, oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're okay. I lost your video there for a minute, but we're good. So in your opinion, what makes a good song?
It's That's a good question. I think a good song, it's all in the chorus. I think what makes a good song is if a lot of people can relate to it, because I feel like as musicians and artists, like we're putting music out not only for ourselves but to alleviate the stresses that other people might have. So I think the more someone can get out of one of our tunes, and I think that's what makes a good song. You know,
Absolutely. For
it,
me, like when I hear a song and I'm going through something and that particular lyric is something that I can like relate to and just really hits me in that soft spot. That's a song that I'll listen to, over and over that really sticks with me because I'm just like, damn, they really get it.
yeah, definitely.
So, you guys have shared the stage with a lot of other musicians. What was your best support spot that you've had to date? And do you have anybody on your collaboration wish list?
Yeah, well, that's a good question too. You're good at this. I
Thank
think.
you.
I mean, my favorite was probably we opened for Dawkins a few years ago, and that was one of my favorites, just because like my dad's a big like hair metal guy, and so when we got to meet Don and Wild Mick Brown, and all those guys, it was just kind of cool because I'm just kind of dragging my pops around. I'm like, hey, look at this, and so that was really cool, and it was a packed show. It was a lot of people. Um, on my wish list, I definitely want to do some stuff with Dirty Honey. Um, really like them. Um, I really think Marcus King's a really good artist. Would like to do something with him. Obviously, I love Gary Clark. Um, yeah, Joyce Wolf's a good band. Nick's a good dude. So like, we'll hopefully do some stuff with them.
Absolutely. So I am very present in my local music scene. I go to a lot of local gigs and work with a lot of local bands. Um, and there's new bands coming onto the scene all the time. Do you have any advice that you would give a band that's just starting out?
Yeah, I would say, well, first, don't stop. But I would say always just keep making music, because what might not make the cut on one thing can make the cut on the other, and we're always just exercising our artistic and musical abilities. It's kind of like a boxer, right? Like they're gonna hit the bag every day. It's like I think musicians and songwriters, we should always be doing something every day that is kind of exercising those muscles. Um, I would say that, and other advice would be, take your shots as they come, but also know your worth too, because it is a pay to play business. And so definitely kind of know your worth and know when to take those risks and when to just say no to things.
For sure. So speaking of local bands, do you guys have any up and comers in your area that you would recommend for me or anyone reading from Shutter 16 to listen to?
Oh yeah, there's some really good bands here in Sacktown. Bad Mother Nature is a really good group that we do a lot of shows with, and I think they're really awesome. And they also have a new single out. There's another great rock band here in Sacktown called Red Voodoo. They're a really good act as well. Down in LA, we have some good friends. The Darbys are a really cool up and coming band that everyone should check out. Um, I know there's a host of others I'm forgetting. JT Lux in Nashville. I actually went to high school with that guy. He's doing great things too. So definitely would say everybody go check his stuff out as well.
Cool. I will definitely be looking into those. I know many artists have a pre-show ritual. Do you guys have anything like a huddle or like a chant or anything that you do before you go on stage just to kind of set the mood?
Usually a bottle of JMO sets the mood pretty good.
Hear that? Um, and then
Yeah.
no, you're cool. That's I mean, hey, everybody takes a shot and hits the stage. That's the way to do it. Um, so speaking of live shows, what can people expect to see when they're coming out to a live show to see ZWB? Do you guys have like any special surprises or something that sets you apart from other artists in your genre?
Well, I think we've been working on building our stage show. So, you can expect, a lot of smoke, a lot of lights. We like to just give you the set. We don't like a whole lot of in between time. We just kind of like giving a full show, a good performance. You can expect me to get in your grill. I like to get right up to people who want to come out in the front. I really love that. And so I'm always wanting to give a good show for the people. So you can definitely expect to get your socks rocked off at one of our shows for sure.
That's what we like to hear. And being up in the grill, like aside from a fan, that's a really awesome thing to hear from a photographer because that's how we get, that awesome shot is having, fans that want to come up and be right there against the stage with the fans getting in your face and stuff. That's awesome. So you spoke about like exercising those muscles and staying in the game with music. What do you do outside of music that inspires you to create new material or like reawakens your, creative mind as far as making music goes?
Well, I outside of music, I really like motorcycles, and I ride motorcycles. So sometimes if I'm having some writer's block or just kind of want to get something off my mind, sometimes I just like to take a ride, and I live out in Lincoln, California, which we got some hills and some mountainside. So sometimes I like to just go and take a ride and ease my mind, get some ideas out. Um, that's kind of all I like is motorcycles and rock and roll. So that would be my thing.
I think, based on your genre and the kind of music that you guys put out, I think that, you know, fits pretty well. And that would seem like the perfect place to go to, you know, wake yourself up and be like, damn, it's putting me in the mood to create something.
Well,
Um,
because music can get in our heads a lot, and being in an industry where everything you do is kind of critiqued. So sometimes it's nice to go to something as bare bones as all I'm thinking about is riding this machine and trying not to hit the ground. And there's something humbling about that.
well, yeah, for sure. So when you are on stage in front of a crowd, where does your mind go?
I feel like I really come alive. I feel like for me, um, and kind of what our motto is like when you come to a show, it's about breaking the mundane. Like I think the monotony of everyday life can sometimes bring us down. And so for me, when I'm on the stage, that's where I feel most free. I have no shackles, nothing's holding me down. And being able to put on a show and see that come out of other people too, that I guess the feeling is like actual bliss. It's a very nice, warm feeling.
Yeah, for sure. When I go to a show, just being there and getting it's it's not something that you do every day. So getting out to hear live music, loud, you're around a bunch of people, that's already just such like an awesome experience. But then seeing somebody that, you think is talented and you enjoy their music doing something that they love, it creates such a unique energy and it's just like electric, really. So can you give me a random fun fact about the band that people may not know?
Yeah, a random fun fact about the band: um, we have been trapped on a secluded island for 12 hours from a show miscommunication.
Ooh, that's interesting. How did you guys end up getting off the island?
Well, kind of the same way we got on. So we had a gig in San Francisco probably like a year ago, last summer, and our gig was to there was a ferry, like the ferries that take people to. You're on the East Coast, right?
Yes.
Have you ever been to San Francisco?
No.
Okay, so there's Alcatraz, which is a prison out on the water,
I've heard of
and
that.
there was a ferry that takes people to and from like the San Francisco to Alcatraz, and that's essentially the ferry we were on. But this time it was taking people from San Francisco to a music festival at this place called Mare Island, which is literally an island. Sorry, excuse me. So our gig was to just play the ferry, getting people to and from San Francisco to that music festival. And I had misread in the email from the promoter that we were supposed to have like our roadie crew pick us up at Mare Island. And so it's like a 2.5 hour boat ride. So we play the gig, and it's just like a cruise ship gig basically. And then we get there and we're like, all right, let's go back home. And they're like, what do you mean? This is a one-way ferry. The next ferry to come get us wasn't coming until midnight. And this was like 8 in the morning by the time we get there.
Oh,
So it was just I don't know, it was a shit show. And so we were just stuck on that island.
I can only
And
imagine.
like we made do. It was a music festival, so it wasn't the worst, but like, half the guys wanted to go home. I felt bad because I had screwed it up. And so we just kind of drank all day, and it ended up working. But yeah,
Make the best
even
out of what you got. So what is next for ZWB? What do you guys have, lined up, cooking in the works? I know you just put out the album, so you guys must be working on like tour dates, right?
yeah, and that's the biggest thing, is just trying to break this act nationally after this record. I mean, we've done everything on the West Coast, and so really trying to move east and go into the South and Midwest. And right now we're in the talks of planning a summer tour, and we have a lot of dates through the spring, a lot of like one-off dates. And so that is our main thing, is we're trying to make the connections and network and hopefully land ourselves on a national tour. And so that's kind of where we're at. We got some new music in the works. I don't want to say too much about that yet, but people can expect another release in the next 6 months, whether that be a single, alluding to another EP. But that is the main thing, is we're just trying to get this act on the road.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we'd love to have you here on the East Coast. So that would be dope if you guys could get on over here. So as far as keeping up with you guys and announcing tour dates and listening to your music, where can people go to do that? What's the best place to keep up with you guys?
Best place to keep up with us would be our website, which is zwbofficial.com. But we're also, we put a lot of content out on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok. So, any of the social media outlets, but definitely our website. Our website has our tour dates, all information on the band, our merch line, everything and anything anybody would need to know.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me and hanging out with, Shutter 16 in spirit. But again, thank you so much, and you have a wonderful day. It was nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.